Hello, welcome to the September 5th, 2023 wrap-up of the Board of Supervisors meeting. I'm Roger Galloway, I'm the Mojave County Communications Director, and today the wrap-up is being handled by the Supervisor of District 5, Ron Gould. Supervisor Gould, it was a very interesting meeting, it was a long one.
It was a very long meeting.
Yeah. There was an item in particular I know you want to talk about, and that was, I believe, item 61 on the agenda. Could you explain it and the outcome?
What we had done at the last meeting, we instituted a hiring freeze. We're looking at an $18.5 million budget deficit next year, not this budget year, but next year. But we're trying to get in front of that. So we instituted a hiring freeze, knowing that we would have to go through and identify some essential employees that would still need to have their positions filled. And that's what we did. Is the different department directors went through and figured out which were essential, things that employees that they really needed, and identified those. And they brought those back to us, and we went ahead and approved that. I think it was about 15 sheriff's deputies, 9 for the jail. So the sheriff had about, I think, 15 or 17 people that he identified, and then the various other. The county attorney needs to fill a couple of attorney slots. That's important also. We don't want to shortchange law enforcement, but we need to prosecute criminals also. Just merely arresting them and putting them in jail doesn't get the job done. We need to make sure that we go ahead and prosecute them so that they serve the penalty for whatever crime they've committed.
Do you believe that these positions that were outlined in item 61 are the only essential ones that we are concerned, or will there be more in the near future?
I would not be surprised if they come back with more. Just how it is. These are they probably didn't want to. I think we have about 125 vacancies, and I doubt they wanted to show up with 124 essential employees. I don't think that went over well with the board.
Coming up on September the 20th is a special meeting. We do these once a month now, and that's the next one that's going to be held about the budget. Do you have any thoughts about where we're heading there? I know we're looking at the various departments are supposed to come back with an 18% reduction.
Yeah, that's what we've tasked them with, is to go take a look at your department, show us what an 18% cut looks like to your department. Let us see what that looks like. Because we need to get a look at that and see what we're really facing in terms of, we know the dollar amount, but how does that translate to programs and employees? How does that work out? And we heard the county attorney said that they had complied with that and they have their plan ready for our meeting that's coming up in a couple of weeks. We're having these meetings, like you said, Roger, monthly throughout this year, because we know we've got a budget shortfall that's coming up next year. And we don't want to wait until next year to solve the problem. We want to get a handle on it this year, because that'll give us a better solution, rather than making a bunch of snap judgments at the end, when the next June. We want to be in front of it now, and I think that's a wise thing to do. And hopefully we'll get to take a deep dive into the budgets of the individual departments.
Tough job.
It is a tough job, and I played the same role when I was in the legislature during the Great Recession. I'm a pretty thrifty guy, and so I wasn't playing bring home the pork when the economy was expanding during the real estate bubble, but I had to play hatchet man on the way down the other side. So I'm familiar with this, and it's not very fun, but it needs to be done. It's part of the job.
All right, sir. Anything else you'd like to add?
Not really. We've really getting some good participation from community members coming into our meetings. Over the last several months, we've got more and more people that come down and testify on items. And it's interesting because a lot of them seem to have had an issue that they came down and that they wanted to testify about. But then a lot of them have stayed around, and now they testify, give us their opinion on other things too, which is good. Because there's wisdom in a multitude of counselors, so the more input that we can get from the citizens, the better job we can do.
All right, yeah, great community involvement with what's going on. I want to thank you very much, Supervisor Gould, and we'll be back with a wrap-up of our next meeting in a couple of weeks. Thank you.